I guess you want the greenskins?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let's see. Do we have a big spaghetti for the moment? We got. We are looking at a mainline focused, mainline made up of goblins, good old chaff to tie up the Bretonian forces, supported by black orcs, with the support of some sneaky stabbing goblins there, sneaky stabbers, and obviously the Karak loons, because the loonies are just too good to pass on. For the knight department, we got plenty of forest spiders, goblin forest spiders, and obviously 3 units of big Huns boar riders. To lead this green tide, we have no one else but Wurzag and a goblin great boss, just like yesterday actually.
Exactly the same army, and why not? Because it worked so well. Never change
Yeah,
a winning team, as they say.
that's what I
Um,
wanted to say.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, I wanted to say the same thing. By the way, did you just call the Forest Goblin Spider Riders knights?
yes, I said knights. Okay, that's a bit too much even for goblin
Yeah,
standard.
I don't think the Bretonians will take that too kindly to be put on the same level as filthy Spider Rider and Boar Riding Greenskins. They are here with a vengeance. We have some Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, Questing Knights, a nice mix of cavalry on this flank. Same thing here, Companions of Canel are here. Actually, lots of Questing Knights. Random Mix yesterday was kind of doubting their effectiveness against Greenskins, but Enticity seems to believe in them. And yeah, your classic 5 peasant mobs, they're going to be sent into those black orcs to die. And something different from what Evenstar played yesterday, he actually has the Fey Enchantress just floating around, and the Green Knight and Gotrek. So relying on a very big hero squad, which we know is very powerful. Prince and I tested how many Bestigors it was able to kill, and it was able to kill 6,300 gold worth of Bestigors. So half an army.
Yeah, there's much more investment in the hero department compared to yesterday. And Gotrek and the Green Knights are some of the best Bretonia, if not the best Bretonian can field.
For sure. Very powerful single entities. A lot, but cheap infantry, lots of cavalry. And then of course the pox arrows for the support. And yeah, we'll have to see how Satsuma tries to deal with this. Normally, what you want to do against the hero squad is sort of occupy them while you kill everything else. But he doesn't have the most mobile army compared to the Bretonians, so I'm not sure if he will have that opportunity to really ignore them as much as he might like.
I want to see how the Bretonian fare in a small map as such as this, where you can't exactly flank the adversary on the right.
They are coming in. Green Knight charging forward into the goblins. What magic damage do we have here from the greenskins? There is no Fists of Gork. So no real magic damage that can be put on the Green Knight too easily. He has
That's
the
gonna be a
effigy,
problem.
but that's the only thing he has, kind of. Ooh, and the Boar Void Biggins are getting charged without getting a charge in return. It's not good.
Forest Spider engages the other knights, but they will obviously suffer a defeat there.
On this flank.
Goblins are on the run. After all, the Green Knight is quite the spooky one.
Yeah, even the Black Orcs not having the best time against Gotrek and the Green Knight. The heroic attacks and the poison, of course, making it difficult for the Black Orcs to fight very efficiently here. Spider Riders are caught out on the flank. Now Satsuma is attacking from behind with his Wolf Rider archers. Might be able to do something about those pesky bowmen.
Those Wolf Archer Aurora are quite the pain bringer with their armor penetration.
Yep, good damage on the Knights Errant and also on the Questing Knights, but they could receive healing. They haven't lost that many models yet. Spider Riders, or Wolf Rider archers rather, are getting chased by cavalry. So long as they don't get caught, that's a good trade. Very cheap unit distracting more expensive units there. Ooh, that big boss. He's trying to fight Gotrek and the Green Knight by himself. That might be a tall order.
Black Orcs are in, I mean, the Boar Riders are in a ugly spot there. They have surrounded the Fae, but they're getting charged on the side.
Yeah. So how many active boar boys do we still have on the field? It looks like half a unit over here. Kind of a full unit over here, but look out how quickly the health is dropping. It's like they're getting picked off one at a time. I think Satsuma has done a good job separating Gotrek and the Green Knight from the rest of this cavalry, so he can try to win this engagement now against the cavalry, but I'm not sure if he will.
Maybe it's far enough to avoid the terror bomb of the Green Knight.
Yep, indeed, that terror not active here. But Enticity is retreating from the Wa, pulling back his cavalry, leaving the peasants to die while that Wa is active. Very good reaction there.
He's getting closer. The hero squad is moving on the middle for the big fight.
Yep. Gotrek and the Green Knight managed to pull themselves loose, and they're just attacking these units from behind and causing a mass rout. Very painful to watch. If you're a greenskin lover. Of course, for Bretonia it looks great.
Headbutt going out, and those peasant archers are on the run.
Faye is taking some damage from the big boss though. Let's see if he manages to shank her.
If the Green Knight and Gotrek can get their hands on the Goblin boss, he's not gonna last long.
No, and so far it looks like, well, the Faye is still fine for now. Oh, now she's dropping quite low though.
But the Green Knights come to the rescue.
How thematic can it get, right? Big Brainbuster there, hitting some peasant mob and archers. Yeah, Faye is floating away. While,
The loss of poison is a big loss for Bretonia in a fight.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, that combat actually hit pretty well.
Did a decent damage on the Black Orcs. Nothing too much, but still.
Now Wurzag is being attacked by the Green Knight and Gotrek. We saw him going
side.
ham
So
yesterday.
remember that Gotrek has a bonus versus large, so he's beating extra hard Wurzag there.
Yeah, Wurzag has to run. There's no way he can fight that. He was able to kill some paladins yesterday, but this is a bit above his pay grade. Big Boss is still trying to kill the Fae though. He's quite low.
The Wolf Rider are starting to run out of ammo. Once they're out, they're not very more useful than peasants.
Indeed. Could chase some stuff, maybe kill some half-dead archers, but no good targets apart from that. And when it looks like Wurzag is getting terrified and killed,
Ooh.
and Enticity will be taking the lead here in this best of 3. Yeah, no solid counter to
The Green Knight. Yeah, that was. I wouldn't say it was a real winner there, but the terror surely helped. Gotrek suffered quite a beating there. If Satsuma brought an extra Goblin Big Boss, he could actually have killed him there.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Enticity was in control, even though he was taking that damage, because he always had an avenue of escape. It never looked like he totally forgot about the fate there.
There was also a good show of how to move your army from Enticity side. He left his peasant line mostly in the background, while only one unit engaged to allow his knights to escape instead of charging on the whole front.
Yeah. Yeah, and he got out of combat with the Greenskins when they had their Wa active. That was, I think, a pretty critical part of what he did there.
Yes, obviously. Satsuma noticed him himself. No fist of Gork. Yeah, with the fist of Gork, I think that good old ganging up on the Green Knight could have worked, even if he was supported by the Fae. So
to me, it looks like Enticity. Maybe this is just how he always plays it, but it looks like he came very prepared for this army.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right, so Satsuma, you did mention that he's able to bounce back after a loss. We saw that yesterday.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let's not count him out yet.
He did a great job yesterday, coming back from quite a crushing defeat to coming out on top. So we can always hope that our boy here will get out alive.
And the story yesterday was, of course, Skaven crushing everyone.
Yes, Skaven still undefeated.
Yeah. And Enticity is going Ghost Dark Elves here. Do you think Satsuma should just roll with it and go Skaven?
Huh. As yesterday we saw the Skaven actually coming out on top against the Vampire Coast, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Satsuma told me after the stream that he actually expected to lose there, but he didn't. I think he played really well, but there was also a bit of a mix-up, I would say, with Silostra and the Vampire Fleet captain, the caster. Kinda
Yeah, that
died
one.
unnecessarily, I would say. And I wouldn't count on the same thing happening against Enticity, who is, of course, one of the Ghost players, maybe the most prominent Ghost player in competitive play. Looks like he's considering going Tomb Kings. I would like that pick going into Ghost and Dark Elves.
It's a good fight, theoretically, against the Vampire Coast, Tomb Kings.
Oh, he's also considering High Elves.
Time to ponder about what to pick.
I mean, I could see High Elves. We did see Enticity yesterday with his Dark Elf build taking on random nicks. Maybe Satsuma feels like he can counter that build.
That was a nice match, the one between the elves.
Yeah, definitely one of the highlights of yesterday's stream. Just very micro-intensive. And as I rewatched that from Anticity's perspective, do you remember when the first Fiery Convocation killed 2 units?
Yeah, almost 3 there.
Yeah, that was really nice, but at the same time, the Supreme Sorceress was a bit forward at that point and getting shot at by the Shadow Warriors. So I have to wonder if she gets netted instead and killed by the Shadow Warriors and techless, which I think would have happened if she got netted. Would the battle have changed?
It would have been not only a great leadership loss for Dark Elves, but also a lot of pendulums lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think it could have made a difference there. The pendulums didn't do much damage to the Shadow Warriors, but at least it deleted 1 unit of Spearmen. So yeah, actually, it could have been quite a difference for the kiting game for the High Elves, but not killing 3 units of infantry, 2.5, that would have been hard to deal in the late game.
Yeah, true. I mean, we only noticed it, or I only noticed it after rewatching it, so it's kind of hard to... Like, in the moment we thought, whoa, this was really good. And it was really good, just had to wonder whether killing the mage would have been better in the long run.
I mean, if the Fiery Invocation killed the Arganet Executioner, that could have made a big difference. Instead, it deleted a unit of Corsairs and Dread Spears, I think. An okay spell, but if it was casted from the other side, it could have killed the entire Arganet and maybe some of the other 2, which were quite much less threatening target.
Yep. So we are getting Tomb Kings against the coast, as it seems. Unless Enticity decides to go Dark Elves.
At the last moment, let's see.
Yeah, I think Falcon that most of us are ready for another patch with maybe fewer pendulums and burning heads and hero blobs and stuff like that.
Boats.
Fewer Manticore summons.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little burned out at the moment. I'm really waiting for the next patch to hit and get back on the ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still having fun, but I do feel like everyone is ready for some balance changes and new content, of course. But of course, with new content, there's always the threat that it will bring more stuff that is not exactly conducive to a good multiplayer scene. But we'll just have to wait and see.
That's one of the worst aspect of the Total War multiplayer right now, is that you get around 2, maybe 3 patches a year, which is quite low.
Yeah.
So you're basically stuck often in a broken meta for half a year before it gets fixed.
Yeah, sometimes there is a hotfix if there's something that's obviously wrong.
Yeah, do you remember Hellebron Sword?
No, not exactly.
Her sword was bugged out, and the damage she dished out was out, out of the blue. She could delete entire front lines by herself.
That's nice, and then they changed that and we never saw her again.
Yeah, they hotfixed her in a couple weeks, if I recall. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Hellebron. She was clearly the losing side of the Lord pack.
Yeah, lots of competition in the Dark Elf roster as well.
Yeah, even the base lords are just too good for the newcomers. Morathi and Malekith gives you basically everything you need to deal with everything.
Pretty much.
The Ike Beast Master, at least, was a useful addition.
Yeah, he has his uses. Not yesterday, but
Yeah.
in general he does have his uses. Right, Satsuma is ready. And Enticity probably has built for this. Can't be the first time someone tries to counter his Ghost with Tomb Kings.
And it's a good choice, since both are undead, so the spooky factor is not an effect. And the Tomb Kings have a very respectable firepower from the distance, so they can actually compete with the Vampire Coast there.
Yeah.
This is also a kinda mostly open flat map, so artillery here can be a real deal maker.
Yeah, you can position some troops in the forest, but at some point you'll have to come out of the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the group stage, Enticity actually played this matchup against Chosen One. And he won it, but against Astolfo, who is waiting in the grand final, he lost it. So we'll see if he adapted his tactics.
Huh.
Then.
Do you remember the army composition?
Well, I remember Astolfo had a lot of chariots, and Enticity had Luther, you know, the standard ghost stuff, sirens as well.
Chariots against the Vampire Coast. Now that's ballsy.
Yeah, and they actually ended up working out. I think the terrain played a good part in that as well. 5 air incoming, asks Falcon. Well, we shall see.
It's good to remember that zombies have a very high density as a unit, since they are spaced out and they are undead, so chariots are often not very effective against them.
Yeah, but at the same time they can get through them pretty easily. Anyway, there's no chariots here, I can already say. This Tomb King's army has... Or do you want a Tomb King's army?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see, what do we have here? The front line is made of middle tier Nekara warriors, 4 units of them, supported, which I guess behind or on the sides, by skeleton spearmen. To protect them from the ranged menace, Satsuma brought 4 units of archer, including the Legion of Demonetization, as Turin likes to call it, 5 units of archer. In the cavalry department, we can see 4 units of knights, including 2 of Nekara and 2 skeleton riders. Very cheap, kind of weak. They will work against dog at least. And in the heavy hitters from afar, we got 2 units of Ushapti with great bows, 1 unit of Screaming Skull catapult, and DJ Katep himself on his music set, ready to deliver some jazz. And that's it for the Tomb King's army.
Alright, so let's check the spells on Katep real quick. It's Naru's Incantation of Protection. Nothing besides that, surprisingly.
Oh, so no staff for the...
Oh, actually he does have the Lich Priest as well, with Burning Gaze and Net of Amintok. And the Curse of Kassar, interestingly enough. Not sure what he wants to drop armor on, but we shall see. Then the Ghost Army has some flyers, yeah, as Falcon was thinking. Egg droppers with bombs. 2 Fellbats. Are there any more flyers? Nope. So falling just short of 5. Then there are 2 Sirens. We'll have to be careful of those Screaming Skull catapults. And no real artillery, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it seems this time the Vampire Coast wants to have a rush head-on strategy.
Yeah. So there are gunnery wights. They do have the Scab Scrat, which is really useful against that low armor Tomb King infantry. There's a Rotting Leviathan. Count Noctilus on foot, which is generally what I prefer to see him. Or how I prefer to see him, with of course the Moondial, the Raid Storm, all the usual stuff. Summons, healing. Then deckhand mobs. 2 polearms. 3 regular ones. Actually, 3 polearms. Okay, so Coast with a lot of rushy units against a lot of Tomb King's firepower. How do you think they'll fare?
It seems that the victory condition here for the Coast is to suffer as little casualties as possible, since the magic damage and the ranged damage will do quite a lot on those unarmored zombies and Siren.
Yeah. The artillery actually shooting straight into the Fellbats. That's something you don't see every day.
Shapti are already going back to their lines. Those bats will have to do a great work into keeping the archers occupied.
And you talked about wind conditions. I think Ushapti will have to be the things to take down this Rotting Leviathan.
Yeah, they're the main big hitter against single targets here.
Bombers, they're doing a lot of damage to the Skeleton Archer. Where is the return fire? Will we see a net to hold him in place?
Here comes the arrows.
The arrows are not really hitting him very well.
That could have been a bad situation for the Leviathan. Getting stuck in a forest is never good for a big unit.
True, so it's trying to move out of the forest. Of course, it does provide cover for it right now, which is quite nice.
But it's low and melee attack, the buff is huge there.
Yeah, it doesn't really want to fight in melee there. On the Coast, of course, the problem when they try to move forward is that it takes so long for their zombies to arrive, so Satsuma has all the time in the world to deal a lot of damage with his ranged units, and it looks like the Coast is having some trouble with that right now.
The Sirens on the left side at least are still healthy. The one on the right side are going down soon.
Yep, the Screaming Skull Catapult is doing what it can. They will now get charged by cavalry. They actually don't like that, even though it's not magic damage. And, ooh, Count Noctilus has been netted and is taking a lot of damage. Just send in a summon, though. Take away the armor sundering damage that's being applied right now. Another big shot. Probably wants to switch targets to the other Sirens or the mobs at this point. It's really trying to get rid of the Blessed Legion of demonetization.
Yeah, those guys do have the armor shattering effect, right?
Yeah, and with them pretty much dead. I mean, they only need to have a few models alive to
even
apply it, but Ushapti still have the armor-piercing missiles.
Yeah, they can take down the Leviathan on their own if the Gunnery White doesn't have something to say about it.
Yep, but of course, he's not focusing that Leviathan. He's instead focusing Noctilus, which I think makes more sense.
Light Leech is going down soon.
Oh yeah. Did he apply the curse? Should have. No, he should have. He probably did so earlier. The armor debuff is currently not active on these units. Sirens are coming in from the flank.
A catapult is trying to redirection itself against the Banshees. At least one volley should be delivered there.
Yep. The cat mobs have now engaged, and it doesn't look like Noctilus is dying.
Catep is massacring those zombies.
Yeah.
It's a bit an overkill with all that firepower, but still, a good view. Oh, but now he's in trouble.
Being attacked himself. Let's not forget about these gunnery wights.
The gunnery wights will soon dispatch poor Catep. He's not exactly a duelist.
No, he needs to get out of here, but I don't think he can. Oh, Ushapti summons clutch. And it looks like the Ushapti, they're compromised right now. They're somewhat obstructed as well. I don't think they'll be able to finish off Noctilus here.
Oh, I think this is the end for poor DJ Kateb there.
Yeah, the Raid Storm, the cast range on that is immense. It looks like Tomb King's range units are being taken offline. We still have a healthy Leviathan. I don't know how they can win from here.
If the Leviathan was wounded, there could have been a chance. After all, Noctilus isn't in great shape. But yeah, it seems like the entire line is compromised and the archers are all in melee.
Yep. The Ushabti not fast enough to guide effectively. Noctilus not going to die to these skeletons. Looks like Enticity in a very commanding position here. So what are the Ushabti going to try? Will they try to kill Noctilus? They're both obstructed by something. Yeah, by their own units that are fighting Noctilus. Ushabti gets sent flying, Horrible style.
Was that a suffered overcast on Noctilus?
Not sure, he definitely suffered some overcast damage before. He may have done so again, but he still seems fine. 43 leadership, 914 health.
He's getting away from that fight for the moment. After all, the Gunnery Rights and the Leviathan is all that he needs to close the deal.
Yeah, you just keep pressuring the Ushabti. They cannot really find the connection on Count Noctilus.
Ushabtis are quite fast, so they can outrun their enemies, but they don't have enough of a punch to deal. Oh, that's a good scat scratch. Yeah. That was the last front line in a good shape for the Tomb Kings that wasn't Spearmen.
Ushabti trying to do what they can to kill Noctilus, but Enticity always with very good lord control, keeping him alive for as long as possible.
They're also getting shot in the back by the Gunnery Rights, so they can't even just outrun and kite them.
No, those Gunnery Rights have been so good in this fight. And that's it. Tomb Kings are crumbling out, and the other undead win. Duo Enticity. Yeah, what do you think went wrong there for the Tomb Kings?
They tried to snipe at all cost Noctilus, but they couldn't. So instead of taking down another target, they didn't finish the deal with Noctilus. And the damage ended up being spread across their 4 main targets instead. If they could have taken out Noctilus, or at least a Gunnery Right, or even better, the Leviathan, something could have been changed, saved here.